I am a human being.
You're living. You are existing. I saw some. I am manifesting what in this vessel.
But the Bible tells us we are vessels. So.
We are vessels. Like blood vessels. What do you mean vessels? Welcome to yet another episode of Daktari, a quick one. So in a very controversial time, a time where we're being asked by very top people in government, we're being asked if they asked us to become doctors. Natuuliza kama ni hao ndio walitutuma med school. It's very sad. It's very pathetic to hear somebody of that stature utter such a statement. But, well, if they do come with the sort of wounds or things they had a couple of years ago, and they find one of us, maybe not even in this country because they can afford it, and they go out there and they find one of us who has decided, I will not do this anymore, and they've gone out there and they come seeking for better treatment, we'll treat them well. We will not tell them, did I ask you to become sick? No. We will simply treat them like any other patient. Yeah, it is indeed a very sad time. It's a time when the government is being run by officials who have no papers and they have no regrets. And yet, qualified doctors with degrees after struggling for 7 years, graduating, and then not being posted for a mandatory internship, which is the responsibility of the government, are being told that they are students. But people with forged River Road degrees are governors and MPs and ministers. The list goes on. But yeah, here at Daktari, a quick one, we will just unwind. We'll just talk about it. We will not overthrow the government because, well, we cannot. Much said about that. Yes, back to fun things. Karibuni sana, yet another episode. Daktari, a quick one. Na leo niko na a very, very, very exciting guest. Ni mtu mtafurahia. She's fun, she's outgoing, she's bubbly, and she's very pretty. Mnasikianga beauty with brains. Forget it. This is brains or brains beauty. Which one are you? Anyway, she's going to tell us more about herself. Today, at Daktari, a quick one, we have Dr. Fauna herself. Daktari, karibu sana. The very beautiful Dr. Fauna Njoroge Mobi. Beauty with brains, brains with beauty. The beautiful brain.
How especially that
the beautiful brain?
Yeah, like you just said it. And
feel that is you.
Beautiful brain, it felt right. Yeah, beautiful.
It's been long. I've been longing for you to come to this podcast. Ever since I said I want to do it. Yeah.
Maybe was it 4 years ago when we wanted to do this together?
Yeah. I remember we were having such great conversations back in the day as students. We were like, come on, yeah.
We actually pulled a desk and set up our phone, and we did like a whole. We did several attempts.
But they were all poor quality.
we didn't have the 206. Yeah, we didn't have that.
We weren't
that time.
interns. We were just struggling. Just we were students. Now they're calling the interns. That was us then. Yeah, now they're calling the students.
Quite sad.
What do you think about this strike? What's like? You think are doctors being unreasonable? Or ukiona? Just be neutral. I know you're a doctor, but be neutral. But you better say doctors are.
I think every individual, doctors aside, like teachers, lawyers, drivers, everyone is entitled to good working conditions.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. And good remuneration based on the amount of the nature of the work they do. Yeah. So doctors and doctors pushing for interns to get the 206,000 is not unfounded because that amount was agreed upon based on something. That is the value that doctors were bringing forward. So, I mean, even if it was lawyers and they're trying to push for better pay for their pupillage or internship, it makes sense because all these people offer a service. So I think the strike...
So we should be gauging the importance of the service or the value of this service vis-a-vis the pay.
Yes, like the value.
Because now, you have a commission. I know you don't know much about these constitution things. Or you do?
I am a legal mind. I'm excellent with. Yeah.
Really?
So just bring it on. Article.
Even me, I don't know articles. But the SRC, usually they propose salaries for CAS's cabinet assistant secretaries or something. Like it's even an illegal position according to the courts of Kenya, but they are paying them a staggering close to $1 million.
Yeah.
But then
the house allowance is the intern salary.
Yeah, but then just paying a doctor that salary it's a big deal.
Tricky. Yeah, it's quite sad when you think about a ministry like Ministry of Health. I would prefer if they told us this is what the CS does, this is what the PS does, this is what the Director of Health Services does, this is what the CAS will be bringing to the table.
And this is what all these board members do.
And then we would understand, we actually need the CAS.
And we need to pay them 700,000.
Pay them 700, and then this that would build a case for them. So I don't know.
But let me tell you, I think I have an idea of what they do. They wake up, they have a driver who takes them to work at around. They wake up maybe at 8:30, and then because they have these escorts, they beat traffic. Traffic inakuwa cleared. They go to their fancy office, maybe in Upper Hill or somewhere, and then they sit there from 9. They attend a couple of meetings. Some of them are Zoom meetings. Then they drink tea. They go for lunch, and then they go do their own things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they do night shifts? Like, do they have night shifts?
Probably they are usually on call. You never know. Unajua by the way unaweza pata that something is happening very big pale Ministry of Health. Like pale Afya House. Shit is going down. Wanapigia CS. With the building is on fire. The building is on fire. Do something. Nitumie dereva.
We should drive past Afya House and just see, like,
I think most of these roles are duplicated.
Yeah.
And most of them are actually just for creating positions for political losers.
Which is sad.
Which is very sad as a country. And even the court goes ahead and says it's illegal, and still government, they said it's government of what they use? Gangster government. They forced their way through.
Imagine.
Anyway, us will survive.
We will, and we will make things better. The strike is supposed to make things better,
hopefully.
Not just for us as doctors, but even for our patients.
True that. And I hope they look at it that way. I hope somebody just, because the analogy they're trying to portray out there to the public is that doctors are greedy and arrogant and proud. Do you think that's the case? Do you think doctors...
Like, I'd even ask everyone. I think almost everyone in this country knows a doctor. One doctor who's either a family member or... Do you think of them as a greedy person? No, we actually, we have been very patient to get to this point of a strike. It's been a lot of unfulfilled promises. We have been very patient. I don't know that there's any other profession that would have been this patient with a CBA over. So we're not greedy. We are human beings with needs, and we just want to live well and treat our patients well. Is that too much to ask for? No. It's actually bare minimum.
It's bare minimum. If you compare this country to what we are trying to be like, the countries where we are aspiring to be like, you find that the things we are doing, especially in Kenya and in Africa, they are very substandard. But then they come and say doctors are proud. And do you think doctors are proud, arrogant, and so full of themselves? Are you full of yourself?
I don't think so. I try not to be.
You try not to be.
Yes.
But
as
you
does every
find
other
yourself...
human being. Are politicians full of themselves?
Of course they are. They think they are all important.
Why don't people say teachers are full of themselves?
Probably because they're not. Are doctors, do you think
doctors,
the doctors you've met,
are they full of themselves? I feel like medicine is a noble profession.
Very.
From Kitambo.
Very.
It's a noble profession.
Yeah.
And these are people who, ever since we're in nursery, most of us were always like, oh, number one, Nyadimu.
Yeah.
So we probably were not used to, because other people had to struggle for
grades and all.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know if you remember this because we were within med school, newsflash. So I remember...
He was quite smart. Tell them
I am very humble.
Tell them I was smart.
Oh, she was the smartest.
Yeah.
She was the smartest. We used to make formations with her.
That's a lie.
See, you are the source of the answers.
Probably, if you guys like peeped into my paper, but I never. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a very ethical person, by the way. So anyway, as I was telling you about this thing of being a top, I remember when we joined med school, we were having the late Dr. Gumba. Remember him? He was our anatomy. Yeah, he was the head of department, I think.
I think so.
And he was giving us this introductory speech. And that something that he said that always stuck with me is that you guys are the cream de la cream. You've been chosen, like you are the best from wherever you've come from. So when you come to med school, don't forget that. Remember, you're still the best. So it's really, as you've said, medicine was noble. It is still supposed to be noble. But as a doctor, does it feel noble right now? Like you've been a doctor for how many years now?
This is our third.
Yeah, third. I think
third.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you feel that medicine has lived up to the expectation that you had maybe in high school and maybe
financially no.
Financially no.
Yeah, financially no. Yeah, financially no.
It's not rewarding financially.
It is. It's made me comfortable, but I think there are things I had thought I would have by now that I don't have. Yeah. In terms of the respect from community, it is rewarding in that way.
Respect from community.
From community.
From your patients and...
From your patients.
And their relatives.
Yes.
Probably.
So there's a huge social responsibility in being a doctor. In the fact that, in the way that I feel like it's an opportunity to be of positive influence.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, even your neighbors at home kind of look up to you.
They do.
They do look up to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we get a lot of consultations from people who've not, they can't go to hospitals for one reason or the other. And that, as I always say, that informs the name of this podcast, Daktari a Quick One.
Yes.
Yeah. So Daktari a Quick One, I have this, and they expect good results. They expect you to tell them something and work some magic. But then now you have all that respect from your patients and all that. But then you get Mr. Politicians and they treat you like trash. Like, how does that feel?
How does that feel? I think I've had to, by just observing, even my mentors or the people who are ahead of us, medicine has this, this is how medicine progresses. It's very slow when you're starting. And then you peak quite later when you're like our schoolmates in high school. By now, might be living.
They're doing well.
They're doing well
because they left school earlier.
Because they left school, because we finished school when we were
27, 26.
27, some people 28. By then, even in terms of their social lives, being in school, having a family was difficult. It was not even on our minds at all. We also didn't have money by then. So there's a way it's very slow, but I feel like the reason why even people go back to school is because then eventually you get to a point where you're actually making good money.
And you're happy.
and you're happy.
You're not overworked.
You're not overworked.
You're not on call every day.
You're not on call every day because you're a senior. You're a super specialist. You're a cardiologist. You're a neurosurgeon.
Endocrinologist.
You're an endocrinologist. So you see these 10 patients in a day, and that's enough to live a very comfortable life. But when you start out as an intern, you do a lot of work. It's actually a fact that the 206,000, then that's a gross, is not even, does not match.
That's the gross in Nairobi.
And that does not match, Fisto, the amount of work that you do. If that work was to be monetized, we did over 60 CSs. It's a lot, but we don't.
It's a lot of money. Like, it's actually true. And I think it's also the case when it comes to, I don't know, I don't know what about your experience in private hospitals. You've worked in a private facility before, I realized when I started working in private hospitals, soon after internship, I realized that actually in one day, I make my entire monthly salary. Like, it just takes you one day to make what you'll be paid. Because if you do 3 CSs, like that's basically what you get paid. So the rest you're working so that the lab techs get paid, the nurses get paid. The hospital pays its bills. That's all on you. But then, and when it comes to internship, it's the interns who are doing everything.
Imagine. Sometimes without supervision. I mean, your consultant is, you had an experience where, you know. So it's the medicine is noble. I still feel that it's noble because I think that was the question. I still feel that it's noble. I would still not change.
If you went back,
I would still not change.
You would still do medicine?
I would still do medicine.
In Kenya?
Yes. Because I love seeing patients. I do love seeing patients. I do love seeing this patient was sick and now they are well. And especially in a public setup, if it worked well, the joy of seeing this underprivileged patient, knowing I came here with nothing, I have left here with good health. I'm not saying that the private patients shouldn't be treated. It's a given, those ones are treated well. But seeing this poor patient who came in and they live there
and they are well,
that is such a joy.
I mean, I don't think it has to be public or poor patients. I think it's fulfilling. Wherever you are. In a public, maybe you follow them up closely because maybe you're fewer doctors, so you have a more close treatment. But it's very fulfilling when somebody comes in, they go to ICU, they go to HDU, they go back to the ward, and finally you discharge them. I mean, it feels so good. It feels so good.
Daktari nitaleta ng'ombe. That ng'ombe will not change your salary. It will not even increase your net worth. But the joy.
Or probably it won't even come.
It won't even come. But the joy.
the joy that you see that patient really appreciates it. It's really amazing.
It's really amazing.
And that's why people don't understand sometimes doctors. We are not happy being at home. We actually, most of us feel an emptiness. Like, you know, there's that joy that just comes with helping this because you grow into it. And by the way, did you always want to do medicine? If I may ask.
Not really.
How did you end up here?
Like many Kenyan doctors, I had an A.
That's most of us.
I had an A.
You overperformed.
We overperformed.
What did you want to do?
I was excellent in math.
Really?
Excellent in math.
So you wanted to
chemistry.
Be a what? A chemistry teacher?
I think I thought actuarial science I'd be using like chemistry teacher. Yes, chemistry teachers are excellent. I think I wanted to like actuarial science, and I could see myself in corporate, you know, like. But then when I had an A, my parents were like, hey, who are you?
Huyu lazima akwe daktari. I was also, even me, by the way, I was told a similar thing. Don't waste that A.
Exactly.
Don't waste that A. So you're going to medicine, and most people, that's how we get into med school. But it has a way of growing onto you. Like most of us, when you come here, I'd never even met I'd never been sick. So I'd never been to a doctor. I even didn't know, like...
Teach us your ways.
Yeah, I didn't know the difference between
a
clinical officer and a doctor.
Yes.
And then I come and, now I meet doctors. I'm like, and then it grows on you.
It does.
It grows on
you.
It
does.
And now I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the problem. We don't think of anything else. We love our patients. We love them. So when you tell me to open a biashara, I'm like, I don't know what that is. Don't focus on my patients.
Yeah, that's why last week, not the last episode, I had Dr. Gibson, and Dr. Gibson was trying to shine a light for us medics, because most of us are very narrow-minded. We just think about I finish my internship, I practice for 1 or 2 years, I go back to school, become a surgeon, become a physician. We're not saying that's wrong. We need those people, but then even if you become that, you can still do something else on the side. And I think it could be enlightening for us to just think of other things to do. Like this, this one, makosa ni yangu. This was designed by a doctor.
Oh, wow.
But because he has not paid me, I won't say it.
I think one day you should sit here, and someone should sit there, and we just get also to know, like, are you doing other things? Are you doing other things?
This is other things.
Oh, this is other things. This is nice.
You tell me, are you doing other things?
I'm not doing other things that bring money.
They don't have to bring money.
But I think I found a new way to describe myself recently. I am a human being who is a doctor. And many other things. I am not a doctor, because what happens is when I sit with people and they know I'm a doctor, you are done. You can't talk about anything else.
It just becomes about
doctors are so amazing. How is it going to med school? So what I do on the side, I have an artistic. I like art. I appreciate art. So I'm not excellent at the guitar. I think you've seen my videos, but I do play the guitar.
You do.
I do have an amazing blog. Yes.
You write.
Yes, I write.
I think we started writing around the same time.
Around the same.
Yes. I used to write about doctors and used to write about life.
And I write about life. So I think an ideal me would be a doctor 3 days a week, and then like a screenwrite producer for films on the side. There are 3 days of the week. And then on Sunday I go to church, that kind of thing. So they don't bring me money, but they bring me joy. And that centers.
But then I think that's important. When you do something you like, something you enjoy, it doesn't even have to bring you money instantly. But if you keep at it and you're good, then So that brings me to a very important thing. There's something we always describe as work-life balance. How do you achieve that? I understand you. What are you doing currently?
What I'm doing currently, I am a human being.
You're living. You are existing. I saw some. I am manifesting. What in this vessel?
But the Bible tells us we are vessels. So.
We are vessels. Like blood vessels. What do you mean vessel?
Define
a vessel.
I saw that video. I was like, this is so big. Are you solid? Can we touch you?
She said she was having a human experience.
I was
in this vessel.
I was like, should we like are
you real?
Are you matter? Like
So
currently, what I am doing is I am eventually I want to be an interventional cardiologist.
Hallelujah.
Who is a doctor. And shout out to my mentor, Dr. Daniel Duiga. Yes, amazing doctor, and his entire team, wonderful people. So I worked with him for 2 years. I was very fortunate. I finished my internship, and that November I had 2 salaries from Dr. Duiga and from MOH. But I had finished it's not like I had actually finished my time. I just finished earlier. So
you got a job. You never tarmacked.
I didn't tarmac.
You don't know what it means to drop CVs and be told where and apply online. You unarudishwa na soja. Unaandikiwa email. HR is never there.
I've never interacted with that.
HR. Wow.
Yeah. So
blessings.
So I just met him randomly and I got work. So I that's why I got to learn about interventional cardiology. For just for everyone to know, if you have chest pain, please usikalie nyumbani. Crushing chest.
True.
Okay, anyway, yes. So yes.
Okay, yeah. Anyway,
yes.
Let me just say this:
Yes.
Crushing chest pain. Most people misdiagnose.
Yeah.
People treat pneumonia without evidence. I've seen patients who come, they've been treat your pneumonia and it's not going away. You do an ECG and oh my God. Yeah. So
yes.
Interventional radiology.
Sorry, so I'm working towards, So
wait, you said cardiology or
interventional cardiology. So I was from a system, which is a public hospital, where ECGs, there was only one ECG in the facility where I was doing my internship. So a patient has crazy chest pain, and the ECG is locked in casualty at night. You have to wait for whoever has the keys to get the ECG. So it was just messy. But here is a place where patients would come in with a heart attack, and in an hour, they are out of a heart attack, which was so fascinating. So currently what I'm doing is I am a registrar, that is a specialist in training. I am working to be a physician.
Specialist in training.
That is who we are.
Wait, specialist in training or training to be a specialist?
Oh, sorry. Training to be a specialist. Yes, I'm training to be a specialist at level 6 facility in this country.
Amazing. So you're calling yourself a specialist in training. I think it's more like training to be a specialist.
Yeah, training to be a specialist, actually. That's what's happening.
So how is it? How is it? And I find it quite interesting. You joined your residency after 2 years?
After 2 years. It wasn't actually 2 full years. It was a year and 9 months.
Oh, you know the exact number.
Yes.
Isn't that that's a very short time?
Is it?
Yeah, like I think most people start residency like after 3-4 years.
Yeah. I'm in school with people who think I'm quite young, but still I know people who are a year ahead of me and finished school same time as us.
Ahead of you?
Yes.
Yeah. How is that? Like they never
so
worked.
Then they worked for a few months and then they just got into residency.
I remember there's a doctor I met when I was immediately after my internship. I was tamarking, and they told me, "Don't wait. Don't go like looking for work or locoming out there. Come start." And how is it? I mean, the reason most of us prefer to at least work for a bit is you want to create some financial balance. How did you manage? Were you saving this entire 1.5 years? Because again,
internship as well.
Oh, internship as well.
Because you're being paid during internship. You save. Because I got into work when I got into work, during my interview, I informed them I actually want to go back to school in 2 years.
In 2 years.
Yes. So in my mind, I was already aware that this is the amount I will require. So I got into school with money for the most difficult part, which is first year and school fees. And then the rest I can figure out what to do with.
So you're telling me you knew all along that you're only working for a maximum of 2 years?
Yes. Like I started work, that's what I told them during the interview.
With that vision in mind. Yes. And let me ask, because this is a challenge for me and I think many other people as well. How did you just decide, okay, Mimini, IMED? You're doing IMED, right?
For IMED. So...
have you always known that Mimi and I, whether I Indikni or I Ketni, I am going to be a physician?
I think everyone at some point in their lives thinks Gen Surg, and then I've never thought PEDS, I've never thought OBS, those two. Also, but I thought Gen Surg, psychiatry, internal medicine, psychiatry because of the conversations and all. So when I finished my internship, I was fortunate enough to get work with the most amazing mentor, Dr. Ndwiga, and his team. Thank you.
I know Dr. Ndwiga. Dr. Ndwiga, he speaks rather fast, but he's such a good doctor. Very understanding, doctor. very like for the junior doctors, he really gives a good. I've worked with him quite a bit.
So he opened my mind to a field that's called interventional cardiology, which is what I want to do eventually. So
subspecialty.
So I know if you remember.
Wait, interventional cardiology. You have to do internal medicine.
And then you can do your interventional cardiology.
You don't have to do cardiology first?
So I've seen people who do cardiology first and then they go and do the interventional part later, but you can't do interventional cardiology as a super specialty. So but that I need to be more. For him, I know he did his cardiology first. No, you actually do the interventional cardiology. He's also an electrophysiologist.
What's an electrophysiologist?
So like arrhythmias in cath lab, trying to map to localize them and ablate them. So super cool stuff.
That's not that's not part of interventional cardiology.
That's EP. That's electrophysiology.
So are you mapping them on the ECG? You're mapping them.
You're doing it in a cath lab. You're stimulating. You're kind of, what is this called? You're like stimulating them. What is this called? You're like
probing.
Not probing. You're trying to awaken them.
Or to arouse them.
What happens when you don't go to work?
To arouse the arrhythmias.
Okay, fine. But you're trying
you want to see the arrhythmia.
You want to see the arrhythmia.
On an ECG.
So you stimulate them.
You poke.
You poke them.
The
and then they show up. And then you ablate that region. So it shows you exactly if it's an atrial, if it's an atrial tachycardia, it shows you this is where it is, and then you ablate it. It's very expensive.
Sounds very fancy.
Very super specialist stuff. So he is good at that. What I also appreciate about him is he's a good mentor. He gave me lots of opportunities. I went for conferences with cardiologists. I got lots of training. He paid me well.
That's amazing.
He's a wonderful. So that
most employers out here, private hospital, and Dr. Amanya, when we were discussing, actually talked about it. They say you are their asset. You are there to give.
Imagine, that's
like you're there to they make maximum use of you, so they can not fathom the fact that you're going for a conference
and someone needs to cover the unit. So crazy.
So you must have been very lucky.
I was very fortunate. We'd actually have sessions in the morning where we would have like leadership trainings in the clinic.
Wow.
For everyone, for all the staff. That's how amazing.
By who? Who's
by whoever. He'll call his friends. He'll call professionals in that area. We'll watch a video together and discuss it. I know.
Oh,
we were family.
That's a very good employer.
Yeah, very good. So
is he hiring? Available doc.
Everyone wants to. So that is what I'm working towards. So I am a registrar who is I am a physician in training.
You're a physician in training.
Yes, so I'm working to be a physician and then a cardiologist. So I'll be taking care of your heart. Yes.
I hope you never had to
take care of your heart.
Have you ever broken any hearts out here?
Nah, I just fix.
So anybody who has a broken heart to come to you?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that's something I want to say.
Anyway, that's good. That's good. I think it's pretty amazing that you already have a vision. Anyway, you didn't tell me how you settled on now
internal medicine.
Is it because of the influence by Dr.
Yes,
Ndwiga?
the influence by Dr. Ndwiga. So initially my mind was like psychiatry, IMED, Gen Surg, and then eventually eventually IMED, then cardiology. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's good, and I think employers out there need to style up and just like emulate that example because I mean, bringing up the young ones to follow in your footsteps is actually the best
nice
thing.
You have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you will not be in practice forever. train someone well, so they're able to take care of your family
and you yourself. You never know.
Yes.
Amazing. So how is this residency thing? Is it residency or is it being a registrar?
I think it depends on the region where you're at.
So in Kenya, you guys are called
alternate.
Either.
Either. Yeah. So someone wrote in one of our groups they are register. They're not a registrar.
They're a registrar.
And then we were like, just use the word resident.
Because they're forgetting the AR.
They're forgetting the RAR. Yes.
Registrar.
So residency.
How is it?
Residency is crazy.
It is.
Yes.
Is it worse than being an MO?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, I mean worse hours. I mean worse.
I feel attacked.
Respect your seniors.
Oh yeah, you're my senior. Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
But so residency is, in my opinion, it's busier than internship.
Busier than internship?
Yeah, busier than internship.
But internship was crazy.
Internship was crazy.
Internship used to do all hours.
Internship was crazy. Internship was crazy. Yeah.
But now residency is crazier.
I don't know what about residency makes it crazier, but residency is crazier, Festo. Because internship was easy. I remember even picking my phone and comparing notes with other interns, what's happening on your end.
We did that a lot.
Now, it could be more responsibilities. Then you are a kiddo, like you are just from school. Now you're an adult. So residency is crazy in the number of hours that we do. Because depending on what department you're in, you do over like 120 hours in a week. Which, when you think about, is crazy.
120.
Because you're working every day, 8 to 5.
That is Monday to Monday. Every day of the week.
If you get like a day off from the weekend, you're lucky. And then you're in the hospital 2 to 3 nights.
Covering on call now.
Yes, covering in my department, covering the accidents and emergency. So that's where you go, see the patient. All those patients, because seeing one patient is on average 30 to 40
you're covering
minutes.
accident and emergency. You're doing IMED.
Yes.
Isn't that supposed to be covered by like surgeons?
No, I mean casualty.
Yeah.
You can call it A&E casualty.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
What happens to people with upper GI bleeding?
Also, they call you.
So what they do is, do they have an RTA patient?
They call
Gen Surg. They have a fracture or ortho. They have a DKA.
So yes, so there's someone running that department. You're on call.
Yes, there's someone running that department. They see the patient and decide this needs to be seen by internal medicine, or this needs to be seen by everyone, and
so
decide.
They call them.
So they call everyone, and all of you make plans. So that seeing a patient, because you want to do a good job, takes about 30 to 40.
Yeah, you take your time.
You take your time. Yeah. This is a referral facility. So these patients are actually very sick patients.
Yeah, most of them, they need maybe HDU, ICU.
Yes, yeah. And even if they're in the wards, they're quite sick.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that takes almost your whole night. The following day, you're doing a major ward round. So you need to make sure
these patients.
You need to present these patients and make sure just things are okay in the morning. So you're probably not having breakfast that day.
Okay.
Lunch.
So when you're doing a night call, in the morning, are you handing over to someone?
In the morning. So our calls are 8 to 8. Like, I mean, if
you're on call 8 to 8.
8 to 8. So past 8, they don't call me. They'll call someone else. But that doesn't mean I'm home. I am in the wards now.
Oh, no, you're doing your day shift.
No, I'm doing my day. No, I'm doing my day.
Oh my God.
No, I'm doing my day, which is insane when you think about it. At the same time, residency in Kenya is not paid.
So wait, you're doing all that work, 120 hours every day you're and then night calls, and then you're not being paid.
You're not being paid. Yeah.
So you're a slave. And this is one of the
very hard.
This is one of the
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's a slavery now.
It is when you think about it.
But as you said, you had saved up.
I had saved up for store, but I am offering a service.
Yeah.
This hospital is generating revenue.
A lot of it.
They're not doing
a lot of it. Yeah, true.
They're generating revenue. So when you think about it, if this facility makes $1 million, not $1 million, they don't even make $1 million, multiple millions per day, for sure. Registrars in this country are about 900. That's not a large number. You can't afford to compensate them. It's actually compensate them well for them not to moonlight through every facility and then come back and they're fatigued. So they're not able to see these patients in the private facility. They're not able to see these patients in the public.
Most registrars we meet when we're doing locums out here. Yeah, most registrars sharing locums. Leo, I'm on call. I can't come. Cover for me. So that's how you survive on locums?
That's how you survive.
And now there's no time to do this locum because, I mean, what time do you have? If you're ready...
You have 4 nights to yourself.
But so you never sleep?
Yeah.
Or sleeping is for the weak?
Sleeping is for the weak. Yeah. And we both know there's such a thing as medical errors due to fatigue.
Yeah. And that's a lot. That happens a lot. It has even happened to me. Yeah. When I was doing locums back to back, probably you're rushing to go do another locum or you have a shift somewhere. Yeah. And you're dealing with patients.
Yeah.
Has that happened to you? Have you made a medical
error?
You might be sued like me.
The lawyers are like, tell me more. No, but I think...
but it can happen.
It can happen, and it does happen.
It does.
Yeah, so that's why residency needs to be... So that's why even part of why we are pushing for implementation of everything we're asking the government to do is because the government can afford to pay registrars. Those facilities can afford to pay the people who work for them. Because
they're generating the revenue.
And we're there for 4 years. Yeah. We're there for 4 years.
4 years of not being paid.
And the hospital is making money. When you think about it, it is not right.
It isn't right.
They're giving us exposure.
Yeah, wanakulipa na exposure. Like I'm an upcoming artist. You're an upcoming physician. So you don't require payment.
Exposure. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. It could be a nice idea to try and pay. Try and pay residents. But then we can also make it official that you're employed. Like, okay, I know maybe it will be more competitive and people, maybe numbers will reduce, but this is what happens in other countries. When you're applying for these, they're called training jobs, you apply for them as a job. So they know you're going to work. Yeah, so you get a job and you grow through the ranks. That's the way you do first year, second year. You're promoted through as the years go.
Okay.
And by the time you're finishing as a physician or as a surgeon or as something. But you've been paid all this time.
You've been paid because you've been offering a service.
You have been offering a service. But here Kenya mazei, you're the one paying.
By the way, like, I don't think our patients know.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think they know that we pay.
They don't even know the difference. Who is the specialist? Who is the intern?
So our patients, we actually pay
so that
you for free for 4 years.
Yeah, and at the same time, you're studying. You go to class.
You have classes every single day. Like, sometimes I sit and think about it. I'm like, whoosh, because. You go to classes every single day. You do procedures or theater, depending on whatever department you're in, every single day. We run clinics of hundreds of patients every week. I run 2 clinics every week. I need to sit down and read because I am a student. I do CATs.
You do exams.
I do exams.
Oh my God.
I am a human being with a social life.
You still need to take care of.
I need to take care and I need to pay my bills.
Of your mzee.
Mzee
anasema, hey, kwa nini wagonjwa utaona kila siku? Ama ni nini utaona leo?
Huyo mzee anataaji. Sidhani huyo mzee anahitaji. Sidhani huyo mzee atawezana na mtu anafanya hiyo kazi.
But actually when it comes to social life, like I think doctors suffer most. I was watching actually a video somewhere. They were just listing randomly the rates of divorces. And doctors, well, guess which number?
Looking at you, I would guess like...
What do you mean looking at me? I'm not divorced.
Anyway, that's a joke. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't oversell. The doctors were a staggering number 2. I think they
Who
were
was number one?
They were behind.
Look at how competitive we are. We're like, what?
Bartenders. Only bartenders beat us to it.
Wow.
So I think our social life balance is very bad.
It's not good.
Yeah, we were behind bartenders.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's how bad it is. And I think it's because of this. I think being registrar is one of the main reasons. Because look at the life you're describing as a registrar.
Whoosh.
And we finished med school around 27, 28. So when you work for a couple of years. So most people in these specialization trainings are in their 30s.
Yes. A majority
are in their 30s. Yeah. So this is the time, because you've never had any other time, this is the time where you need to be starting your family. This is the time where you need to be settling down. But now you can't. You're broke, you're overworked, you're tired, you're pissed off most of the time because...
Let me tell you a funny experience female medics have. When you have a child, you're like 31.
And then there's children. Oh my God.
And then you've been seeing all these kids in NBU and telling these women, oh, this is what you do. And then you realize you have no idea what to do, because all your life, you've not... It's actually, it's difficult for everyone, but it's more difficult for the ladies, obviously.
Yeah. Of course, the ladies, we would like to use the phrase that they have a biological clock, of course, and which is a thing. I mean, it can't be overlooked. It can't be overlooked because you become an elderly primigravida when you're 35 and that is your first pregnancy. And to imagine that is what happens to most doctors. Yeah.
Because what else will I do?
Yeah.
I can't. I am a registrar now.
Imagine that schedule you're telling me, 120 hours, add on calls, add on clinics, add on class, add on locums,
cuts and exams.
And then you want to bring a baby into that mix.
Wow. I know.
And it really makes it hard being a specialized doctor in the country. There is a shortage. We are trying to fill the shortage. We need to fill the shortage, not just for the patient, but also for our own growth.
Yes.
But then it is so stressful.
It's so stressful.
I mean, remember there were cases where registrars were committing suicide. I don't know if you remember that doctor the pediatrician.
Yeah, at KNH.
Yeah. She overdosed herself.
Imagine. It shouldn't be like that. Because we are human beings. I shouldn't have to choose between wanting to live a normal life and being a doctor. They should run concurrently. The same way
your life shouldn't stop just because
your life shouldn't stop. But the circumstances we are put in sometimes force us to hold off on things.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being paid. So I'm moonlighting all over like crazy.
Yeah. You're moving everywhere. You need to fuel that car you're moving with.
Exactly. So I think residency needs to change.
That's why we're on strike.
And I know, when residency was started before, the idea was we're trying to sort out who is the most resilient. It's kind of like...
what do you mean? It was like a fear factor thing.
Yes.
Who can go the longest?
You're like,
without eating.
You did 72 hours, I did 80.
I am better than you.
I am a better doctor. And patients are like, I want that one.
The one who does 80-hour
doctor, yes.
That's a fatigued doctor.
It's a fatigued doctor. They won't do their job well.
There was a course I was doing online about well-being. And immediately I started this course. Yeah. It was well-being among healthcare workers. And immediately I started it. It was a 10-week program. In my second week, I quit. I quit one of my locums.
Oh.
I did. I just quit. Because I realized I'm really not. I'm not happy.
You're not happy.
Yeah. I'm not happy. I'm doing all this. I hate going to work.
Imagine.
Yeah. I hate having to wake up, having to leave this place and go to this other place. It feels nice to say you have all those jobs.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot, but what is it doing to your mental health? What is it doing to your life? What are you happy? Are you living? You're spending all this time preparing to start living. When do you start living?
Imagine. It's not right. It's not right.
So how are you finding the residency? I hope you don't quit on us.
So residency is hectic.
Yeah,
it's hectic. It needs to be done because we're working towards providing better care for our patients and even for ourselves, having fewer working hours and a better pay. Because I want to be able to see my family. I want to be able to be a present mom, see my kids grow up. I want to be a present spouse. So so that's why for me going back to school early was a priority. I didn't want to do it. Everyone has their way that they do things, schedule. But I felt like because I was not committed to many things, it was easier for me to go back to school and then as a consultant have freedom, because it's not sustainable to run around for 10 years.
For all those years.
It's not sustainable.
You'll die on the job.
Yeah.
But you see, it's not also very easy for everyone to go back to school that early. Reason being, number one, for you, I think you got your first job like very early after internship. Did you even tarmac at all?
No. November I had 2 salaries. One from Dr. Njoroge's clinic and from MOH. Yeah. So
must be nice.
So the first time I didn't have a salary was residency.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in shock.
This is the first time you're not being paid.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't open my online banking thing because I was like, there's no more money.
There's no money.
Yeah.
It's
unbelievable. Yeah.
Unbelievable. But then that's you see you're lacking. But for most doctors out here, you finish your internship and you pick a good 6 months out there, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you may get 1 or 2 locums, but that's
just
barely nothing, barely anything. So, and then not forgetting, these are now people who are in their late 20s going into their 30s, have responsibilities. And being in Africa and being Kenyan, you have what is called the black tax.
Yeah.
Mkoro uko hocha nangoja kitu yake.
I know.
You have committed to some, maybe paying.
You've made promises.
You've made promises. There are some school fees you're supposed to be paying here and there. But yet the government is not going to employ you despite the shortage. So residency utarudi lini. Yeah. So people end up
here. But when you think about it, what Dr. Manya talked about in a previous podcast, why not save that money? Choose what path do you want? Do you want to do a USMLE club, which still costs a lot of money? Or do you want to go back to school? So save up knowing, even in school, you will be moonlighting. So it would have been easier, because even as what you're doing as an unemployed doctor is just looking for work here and there, go back to school, do your best to look for locums, because actually...
So you're saying there's somebody who once told me that don't waste time. That you're looking for locums, go back to school, start. Yeah.
Because we're not saying that as a specialist it's a guarantee, but you have better chances. Of making more money.
And getting a job, being employed.
And getting a job.
Because now Emos are many.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not many, but there is a notion.
I had a rumor of there's enough OBGYNs in this country.
Yeah, that's the Kenyan government.
That's the Kenyan government.
Kenyan government. Kiona, because they know three obstetricians.
4 of their neighbors on the same street.
Do you know when you go to these county hospitals, it's barely 1. Like it's 1 per county. That's the average. That's the average. And then you come and tell us because you've met 5. in Nairobi. Hawa ni wengi sana, my friends.
You're like, if I know 5.
Yeah. Then means that
55 million.
Yeah, everybody knows 5. It means
we have 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I don't think we are anywhere close to having enough anything.
No. Anything.
Yeah. Not even nurses.
No, what we have a lot is leadership.
Yeah, politicians now.
We do have a good number of politicians. We do have a good number of politicians.
And they're never ending. You know me, I can become a politician just tomorrow. And I'll get a very good job as a CAS.
Yeah. CAS assistant.
They can even create one. Yeah, you know, if you do a very good job at losing at an election, they create a position for you. Yeah.
Quite sad.
Even when the courts say this is illegal, they'll fix you there.
Yeah.
They'll fix you there.
Imagine.
Just support your party leader. Garner some 100 votes.
Yeah.
And yeah, utaambiwa, hey, unataka kiti, chukua hii, usijali, we will create something.
Imagine.
Yeah. But then when it comes to doctors, wanasema,
imagine. Because WHO recommends 1 to 1,000. 1 to 1,000 patients. We are at 1 to 17,000. How do we have unemployed doctors? Yeah. It's such a, is it called an oxymoron? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Kizungu kubwa.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
There are so many unemployed guys. There's so many guys stomaching out there.
And yet, we don't have enough doctors. Because and you cannot say you're cutting training.
You see, I think the reason the government is very comfortable is because of interns in the county hospitals and registrars at the national hospitals.
Yes.
Because now they see, we have free labor. Yeah.
So, I mean, why would we want to? Well, the county, yes, they have interns, but then their own doctors, I mean,
there are very few.
Very few.
Let me tell you, my internship, where I went for internship, 5 MOs, 1 per department, and 5 consultants, 1 per department. Listen. So it's barely 10. And I think there's a department that didn't have an MO. Yeah, Paid didn't have an MO. Yeah, we're actually 4 MOs. So Paid mnaambiwa, kuna intern. Yeah, and actually as an intern, ni wewe na consult. There's no MO. So ukilemewa usiku, my friend, you're on your own. You're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, na hapo ndio gava inakuita student.
Yeah. And I think we need to, our leaders need to be accountable. If your county has 15 doctors, and that is specialists and medical officers,
the total,
pharmacists, dentists, 15.
You're talking about pharmacists. Ui, no, ni mmoja per county.
Moja per county. And we know that the benefit that they bring to healthcare. So explain to us, your hospital also does not have essential drugs.
Yeah.
Explain to us very simply, even as laymen, where is the rest of the money? Yeah.
See, it's in their pockets, of course.
It's
in their pockets. It was supposed to come to the counties, the facilities through devolution, but politician nani.
Yeah.
Yote inaingia kwa mfuko yake. And then they either go abroad. Yeah?
Imagine.
Or they go to private hospitals. The poorer. The poorer politicians. Wenye wajapata NYS bado. Hao sasa wanaenda Aga Khan, Nairobi Hospital. And then you've worked in a private facility. And you've worked in a
public facility.
Yeah. And as you were telling me, in the private where you worked, things flow. Like patient comes, everything is done.
Yeah.
And we talked about it with Dr. Amanya. There's a culture shock that you get.
So like you actually saw a STEMI.
Yeah.
You saw a STEMI on an ECG. Yeah. And you addressed it.
You see those ones in private
facilities. Yeah.
Because in a public hospital, the ECG iko wapi? So there are some not so private
facilities. You've worked in
I've worked in both a facility and a hospital. Difference is palpable. Yeah, and as you were saying, sometimes it's better you just go to a public hospital.
Yes.
The problem with our public hospitals is, first of all, the number of doctors, and then the resources, the equipment, the labs, the personnel are not there. I remember there was a time you were working, I don't know if you were working with Ndwiga, but you mentioned the test you had never had. It still rings in my head. Remember, TB IGRA.
Hey, TB IGRA. I was like, sorry?
Imagine if a public hospital were at the level to be. Is that even done in MTRH?
I don't think so. I've never ordered it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've never ordered it.
So there's a very good investment in private hospitals, but these are by private business owners. And they're doing well. And they're helping lots of Kenyans. They're handling, I think, now with the strike, I think it's upwards of 70%
Yes,
of the
yes,
health.
yes.
But normally it's around 50%. Yeah.
Which is a huge percentage.
Which is a very huge percentage, considering the government has the primary responsibility of our health. Our health.
And how many Kenyans can afford that? Not so many.
Not so many.
Yeah.
No, not so many. Yeah. So anyway, what do you think? For you, what's your plan once you finish your residency? Private? Because you're not working for a county. You're not county sponsored.
I'm not working for a county. Yeah. I know first is to have a normal life, number one, and then maybe private. Yeah. Because of the facilities in the.
So do you plan to open your own facility, or do you plan to work in a hospital?
I think it would make more sense to empower what's already there. Like if there's an interventional thing that's happening, to strengthen that, as opposed to now starting your own
scratch.
Yeah, because I think even though these two small private facilities, if all of them came together and opened one big thing, it would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Rather than me coming and taking this room and just those kinds of things. But plans change as you go.
Yeah.
Plans change as you go.
Yeah. All the best, Doc. Yeah. Don't quit. Don't quit on residency. I know it's hard, but hang in there. And I hope Dr. Davji, Dr. Miskela, Sajo, you guys, you're going to deliver something, at least for the registrars, because what you've described to me is borderline scary.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted you to just guzia. You've already committed into a master's program. Last time we were here with Dr. Amanya, he strongly believes, as you mentioned, that the state at which this country is, people should be looking for a way out. Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever thought of packing and flying away?
The last 3 months have made me feel like, I should have, with all the things that had been said.
Yeah.
But I think my resolve is I want to stay, because I'm not just a doctor. I am a human being in a society, in a community. There are things that are working well for me in this community. So I want to stay here and continue with those things. If it's a society that I am in, I want to continue in that society, and I want what's important for me is to have a family that I am proud of. A family that I am proud of. I'm very family oriented. I'm not saying that you can't have a family abroad. It's obvious that you can have, but I feel like with the values that I have, it would work well here. Like knowing I can wake up in the morning and walk around, and I can take a walk with my kids. You can do that anywhere, but for me, I feel like this works better for me. So, and then at the same time, someone needs to see the patients here in Kenya.
Exactly.
Yeah, if all of us leave, then
So all of us can't leave. But he was of the opinion that if it's not working for you, maybe for you it's working.
I think you need to check and see what is important to you as well, because things will work, Risto.
Things will work
eventually.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, things will work abroad or here. But then you need to see what am I willing to lose. I'm not willing
but don't you think practice, the way you said, we have private hospitals, then private facilities, then we have public hospitals, and the level of fulfillment goes down as you go down those ranks. But if you are in an advanced country, fulfillment is there, guaranteed.
That's interesting, because they have the highest suicide rates when we all the fulfillment, so I don't know.
All right. Okay. Well, I think this debate, we need to have it more. I think one of these fine days I'm going to get Amanya and you on the same bench, so that we dig into this and just explore more reasons of why. Me, I'll mediate.
You are neutral on that?
I am very neutral on that
topic. Wow. Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Dr. Fauna, I'm very grateful. Thank you for gracing Daktari a quick one. We've long been waiting for your presence, and finally you've showed up.
Okay.
I hope you can do this again. I hope we come again and again
We
and
should
again.
do this again.
We will do this again.
And it's not we'll do this again when we don't mean it. We actually mean it. I mean it.
This one mean it.
Okay, sawa.
So thank you, Sana, for coming. Parting shot?
Parting shot is we love our patients. We want to go back to work, but we also want better. So that's why we support the strike. We're hoping for better healthcare and for better work for doctors. But
would you advise your small sister to become a doctor?
If she wants to, yes.
What do you mean if she wants to? You're the one advising her.
And I will tell her, you have this grade, make your choice.
Or rather, would you advise your younger self?
I would go back and take medicine for myself.
I would do
medicine again here in Kenya, and I would still practice here in Kenya.
Hallelujah. So all is not lost.
Yeah.
Daktari, there is hope. I think Fauna is one of the most positive people I know out here. When all of us are feeling like, mambo ni kangaja, she always stays positive. And thank you for even staying positive in this terrible state where politicians are the almighties. But we'll come through at the end of this tunnel better.
Yeah, definitely.
So are you all the best?
You too.
On your physician in training and your
cardiologist.
Interventional cardiology. We need those things. Yes. Yeah, because I'm sure there are very many patients who go undiagnosed.
Definitely.
Many patients who get
diagnosed and not treated.
Because of lack of resources and lack of personnel. But we're training the best here. Asante sana.
Thank you for having me, Festo.
Karibu sana. We'll do this again, definitely. From Daktari, a quick one. Adios. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Do your thing.
Yes.
See you next time.